Advice Hour with Tanya, media's #1 big sister.
Thank you for calling the Tanya TKO Show. You are live on the air with the Advice Hour with your big sister, Tanya TKO. What's your name, caller?
My name is Sharon.
So, Sharon, how can I help you?
Yes, I have this just something that's really pressing on my heart. I mean, I have what you call a list of incompletes, or rather a checklist. And I'm pretty sure this is something that a lot of people have, but it just affects me so much. I mean, there's things that I want and I desire. For example, I want to be married. I want to have children. I want to finish school. I want to travel more. I would like to move from New York to maybe a place where it's
I can't hear you. Your audio has gotten really low. I'm trying to turn it up from my end, but can you speak a little louder, please?
Yes. And so I want to move to a place where it's not so much rush and like New York. And there's just so many things that I desire, but it's funny, I feel like anytime I try to pursue these things, for some reason they don't come to fruition. So it's just very frustrating, and I just feel very tormented by it, just constantly thinking, I wish I had different things, and it doesn't seem like they're happening.
Okay. Well, you know what? There's a lot of different things that are going on, and I apologize. When you were talking, I was trying to fix your audio because it was like a lot of interference coming in on my end. So I need you to just rewind just a little bit. You were saying that that there are a lot of different things that you want inside your life. You want to be married. You said you want to have children.
Yes.
And that you want to move, etc. Okay, there's this thing in the universe, and you know what? I wanted to take a few moments to apologize to Roman. I apologize for getting so aggressive with you on the phone. And I would love to talk with you again in the future. When you do call in, I need you to be ready to be open. I need you to come in on the line ready to give. Okay, without the teeth pulling. I need you to come in ready to be open and just ready to give. Okay, so listen. So Sharon, there's this thing where in the universe that what you resist persists. And when you attach a certain type of desperation or a certain type of emotion to a thing, a certain attachment to it, the universe sees that you're attached to it, and it doesn't know that you're attached to it with this heavy feeling of longing. Longing creates more longing. If you want something, you have to envision the feeling of already having it, and that's the vibration that attracts it to you in your life. So when you can get vibrationally in a state where you can feel the bliss of having that, it actually draws it to you. And when you start having an attachment that is like, I gotta have this, you start pushing it away from you. It's when you release it, when you release your attachment to it, when you release, this is and I would say this is one of the huge fundamental differences between religion and spirituality. In religion, you pray, and in these prayers, sometimes you're begging, and it's like when you're begging, you are putting it out there that this is something that you don't have and that you lack. And there's a portion of you, the fact that you're begging for it shows that you don't think that you're going to get it. You know what I mean? The fact that you're like, please, oh, 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 please, let this happen, please, oh, please. that's giving indication that you don't really, that there's a portion of you that feels that that's impossible, that it's not going to happen, and therefore you send this energy to overcome the feeling of it feeling like it's never going to happen. And so when you rest in your divinity as a manifester, you have to remember that you are you are a reflection of the Most High. You are a powerful manifester. And when you rest in the knowledge of what it is that you can manifest and what you do manifest, for example, if you really think about it, right? Think about like when we were talking with these people when we're talking with people who have the same relationship issues over and over, same life issues over and over. I knew this guy who had such bad luck. Oh my gosh, in college, he got kicked out of college. He tried to get a job, and he every time he would get a job, he would get fired. He was the only person I knew who would park his car. It got to the point his car was always getting broken into. It got to the point where he left the car unlocked and they broke into his car. Then he left the window. He didn't fix the window, left the window open, car unlocked, and then they still broke a window. Only him. And so he went on vacation. He went to go get a summer job. He left college because he got kicked out of school anyway. During the summer, he went to get a summer job. He was working with a cousin as a landscaper. I remember because that was the very first time I'd ever heard the word landscaper. This man went and chopped off his toe with a lawnmower. Who does this? How does this happen? So if you think about it, right, if you've ever, and look, some of you inside the room, I'm sure some of you have known people who are just bad lucky. So if you think about it, if a person can create that level of bad luck in their life just by thinking, oh, this always happens to me, oh, this is what's going to happen, oh, if they can create such a string of bad luck, imagine what they could do if they shifted that. If they shifted it and shifted that into really being a powerful magnet for what it is that you do want, a powerful magnet for positivity, a powerful magnet for abundance. Someone inside the room is saying, Tanya, are you saying not to pray? And I'm like, it's not that I'm saying not to pray. It's that I'm saying perhaps shift your intention of how you pray and really give thanks. You know what? Listen, let me just say this. For any of you out there who pray and then continue to pray and beg for that thing, you are letting it be known that you don't think that God got it under control. If you pray for something and you trust in the Most High and you trust in the power of abundance, then you know that it's already yours. If it is meant to be, it is yours. But to be like, God, did you hear me? I asked for that yesterday, right? I've been asking for that. You ain't heard me yet. I'm gonna say it again. You ain't gonna get it. And then so we create this air of being like, oh well, I don't really think that I'm going to get it. That's my point. So what I'm saying is, go into it giving thanks. Thank you, God, for this new job. And if this is not the job that I'm supposed to have, then thank you for opening up in my life that when the time is right, that this will manifest. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And there, this is why when people in the spiritual community pray for something or concentrate on having something, at the end they say, and it is so. And it is so, because they're putting their stamp on it out there into the universe that it is already done, that it's done, instead of going back and forth. Wow, you heard me, right? So, and then you also have to remember as a physical being, you're going to have to participate in getting what it is that you want physically. What have you done, Sharon, to move?
To be honest with you, not much. Not much. Not much. It's almost like I want to move, but I don't know what steps to take. I mean, I know what steps to take, rather, but I feel like I can't move because of financial reasons.
This sounds like an excuse to me. The real reason you can't move is because you don't think that you can. Because you don't think that you can. Because you don't think that you can. You know what? I'm gonna say this, right? And I don't typically talk about this. I don't. But I'm gonna say this right now. I don't know why the Spirit has moved me to speak on this right now. When I was in the hospital on my deathbed and I had to make the decision of whether or not I wanted to live or die, I came out of the area that I went in when time had stopped. And when I made the decision that I was going to live, I came, because I had had several blood transfusions and I was hemorrhaging on the inside and the doctors didn't know where the blood was going. They were going to send me back in for an emergency surgery because after the 4th transfusion, they were worried because I was going through my body was going through shock because I didn't have enough blood to circulate through my veins. And you know like how you see on TV when the people are like, Johnny, it's so cold in here. When I didn't have enough blood in my body, my limbs were freezing because your body has a natural defense mechanism to keep your vital organs alive. So it pulls the blood from your extremities and it circulates throughout your body. My heart was beating really quickly and I was freezing. I was shivering. And I went into this area, and I'm not going to go into full detail about the area that I went into in my being, or in a place that is everywhere yet nowhere. When I came out of that and I decided that I wanted to live, I made the blood stay. I stopped the hemorrhaging. I made it stay. I regulated my heartbeat, and I said I was not going to get another transfusion, and I said that the blood that was in there was going to stay. And you know what happened? It did. There was not a part of me that did not think that it was possible. When I came out of that area, I said, this is what is going to happen. And the universe answered because I said, this is the way that it will be. And it was so. So if you want something, you can't tell me that you can't get it if you're not going to put your stamp on it. Girl, if you want something, you could have it. It doesn't matter what it is. We are God's incarnate. We are a reflection of the Most High. We have a fraction of the energy of source inside each one of us. And even Jesus said, these things that I do, you can do too. But the fact that we don't think that we can do it is what stops us from being able to do it. If you wanted to move, you would move. If you wanted to move, you would start packing until you found a way. If you wanted to move, you would find a way. You would find one. Because I know. And I know that there's a shift that needs to happen. There's a shift in your mind about the possibility of what it is that you create that needs to happen. And when you start thinking and knowing that you will do something, it is done. It's done. So when you really get up, Sharon, and you start thinking about what it is that is going to happen, it will happen. Because while you're flip-flopping and you're not really participating in this future that you claim that you want, you're not doing anything to get that future. So why should the universe answer you? You're not even putting your own stamp on it. Girl.
That was powerful.
And I mean that with every fiber of my being. When you are ready, the time will be there. When you are ready, it will be so. But you have to be ready first. You have to realize who it is that you are. It's like Dorothy when she didn't know that she could get home simply by clicking her heels. And she'd been home all along. You are a abundant. You are a miracle. You are God incarnate. You can do amazing things with the power of your mind alone. You can do amazing things. You can draw what it is that you want to draw to you, like that. Just say it's so, and it is so. But you have to believe it in a certain part of your being, that you know that there is no other alternative than that which you know to be reality. When you get up to step your foot down on the ground, there's nothing in your mind that says, please let my foot move. You just move it. So when it's time for you to do what it is that you say you want to do, you just do it, and it is done. Just like that. So do you have any other questions, my dear?
No, that was pretty much it.
Well, thank you so much for calling in. I hope that that was helpful for you. There are some people in the chat room who are saying that they feel that it was. So, I'm sorry?
It was very helpful.
And what are you going to do now?
I'm going to take charge.
Okay. Well, I'd like to hear from you. You know what? Tonight, what I want you to do before you go to sleep, I want you to ask your guardian angels. I want you to ask them for a sign that you can understand and know. And I want you to sleep on it. And I want you to ask them for how this can get done. I want you to ask them for what it is that you need to do in order for this to be done. How do you manifest this? Ask them for a sign. Ask them before you go to sleep. And when you wake up in the morning, I guarantee you that the answer will be there. You have a powerful team of helpers all around you, but we get clouded in the confusion of not knowing our own divinity, that we don't know how amazing and how powerful we really are, that we get stuck. I guarantee you, if you get off this phone right now and you pull a piece of paper out and you write down on that paper, how can this get done? I guarantee you that when you put your hand back down to the paper to answer the question, that the question will come easily and profoundly out to you on the paper. I guarantee it. Okay?
Yes. I wanted to mention also something before I go. I think sometimes also it's, you know, when you're in a negative environment, I think sometimes I put out things to the universe, and sometimes I put it out to people, or even ask them questions or ask them for opinions. And you hear so much negativity that you start to believe it, you know?
That's because you want to believe it. That's because you're putting it out there for people's approval, because you're putting it out there for people to put it down, because you're putting it out there because you don't fully believe it yourself. When you fully believe something yourself, you don't need anybody else's permission. You don't need anybody else's opinion. You don't need anybody else's thumbs up. You don't need anybody else's seal of approval. When you believe in something, you believe and you do that. There's nothing that anybody can tell you that the sun is not going to rise tomorrow, because you know from what it is that you've seen throughout your whole life that the sun will come up. Do I need to ask somebody? If I went out there and I started asking people right now, is the sun going to come up tomorrow? You know what's going to happen? I'm going to get a lot of different answers from people. And what it is that I believe is a reflection of something inside of me that I want to believe. And the fact that you're going out there asking and seeking other people's opinions for what it is that you feel, that you think you know to be true, but you don't really know, so you're asking other people's opinion, and you're allowing yourself to be perforated by the negativity of others, because that's something that you want to pay attention to. If I told you right now that the sun wasn't going to come up tomorrow, there'd be a part of your heart that'll push that out, because you know that the sun will come up. So when you know that there's something that you're going to do, you don't seek the approval of other people. You just go and get that doggone thing done. You get it done. That's what you do. You get it done. And it is so. You change your mind and you change your life. That's it. The people that you talk to that you claim are negative are a reflection of the negativity going on inside of you. Because they're reflecting something back into you that you want to hear, that you feel that you need to be talked out of. When people want to do something, they do it. I bet you when it was time for you to lose your virginity or share your virginity, you shared it because it was time. And you went, and no matter what anybody else said, your mother could have been like, don't do this until you're married. Other people could have been like, don't do it, it's not going to feel right. Other people could have been like, don't do it with that man, he's not the one. But you know what Sharon did? When it was time for Sharon to do it, she didn't care what anybody else had to say. Sharon went and did it. Didn't she?
So true.
But then now all of a sudden you say you want to manifest something in your life, and then now all of a sudden the opinions of other people matter to you. Why? Because that's the opinion that you have inside of yourself, and you're using these people's negativity to validate your own negative feeling about what it is that you say that you want in your mind. And that's it. That's it. I'm going to try to take the next call, but thank you so much for calling in, and go out there and get it done. Get it done. Standing up here telling me what's not possible, and I know what is.
Amen.
Well, thank you, Sharon. It was great talking with you.
It was great talking.
Advice Hour with Tanya, media's #1 big sister.